And today's episode of Free Friday is sponsored by Sketchfab. Sketchfab is the largest platform on the internet that gives 3D artists the opportunity to publish, share, discover, buy, and even sell 3D, VR, and AR content. Sketchfab provides you with an online 3D viewer which is based on the WebGL and WebAR technology. And this simply allows you to view your 3D content on the web, mobile browsers, and also on virtual reality headsets. So in case you want to publish or even buy or sell your next 3D content, go Sketchfab. Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to askNK. It's another interesting episode of Free Friday, and today we have a whole lot of cool stuff that you would want. So we're going to start up from Gumroad, and the very first one where we're going to start off with is Baymax 1993. So if you're trying to get base mesh stylized stuff which you can actually knock off and use to start making some very cool and interesting characters, then Baymax have you covered. So he does have a truckload of several things that you want. That doesn't include male characters, as most of them are basically female. So you can go from the Chinese warrior character that you can get, and you can see that it's properly done, and you can also choose to work with a slim character, and this in itself is a basic rig that you can simply get and start working with. Now if you also want to get some base meshes that you can use, there is a stylized face base mesh, and for this one I just love the whole idea of how he has gone through to create different sections that you can dive into Zbrush, dive into whatever sculpting tool that you have, and start sculpting. And you can see he has actually segmented this in a very good way. It's actually very interesting to see that there are certain persons out there that have good content like this, and they've gone through to put these things out for free. Now with this said, we're also going to take a look at one beautiful piece that he also has that has to do with the stylized female character. Now we dive directly in Zbrush right here, and we simply go through. You can now see that we do have this beautiful 3D model that he has actually created. I mean, you can take a look at this and see how cool this is. And if we go over to the geometry, we can drop this to a lower resolution. This in itself is an amazing tool, and you can simply start making your next superhero character or your next stylized 3D model with this. So with this said, we're diving directly into deryck.art, and deryck.art also has some pretty cool stylized model that you would want. Now if you're into base mesh of characters that have muscles, or you just simply want to get a very cool base mesh that you can use to start making your 3D model, and you don't want to go into the whole idea of defining muscles and doing all of that stuff, so deryck.art have you covered. Now you can go directly over to his page. I'm going to put links in the description where you can find this solid 3D model that you can bring into Zbrush and you can start working with. So pretty cool stuff that you can get. And with that said, we're going to dive directly into some amazing places where you can get some cool goldfish, and I'm talking about no other place but that of Wilde. Now Wilde has a couple of things, and if you simply check, you would notice that the goldfish is not the only thing that he has, although the other article which he has right here has to do with a course which you can go ahead and take, and he's currently giving a 30% off for this one. But the goldfish is something pretty cool. You can see the goldfish living and breathing directly here in Zbrush, and if we go ahead and rotate this, you would see it's a pretty cool fish. All right, so we can have this. And if you're into fishy stuff, you want to create a fish, you're trying to do some fish animation, fish simulation, fish whatever, yeah, you can simply get this one and start making some interesting looking stuff out of this. You can tell that the topology of this one is cool. The only thing that I would suggest that you do is maybe you can go ahead and define the eyes properly, maybe put some extra eye sockets, and then this is ready to go for your next animation. Now if these things are incredible for you, just wait as we will dive directly into PGW Studio. So PGW Studio also have some pretty cool stuff that you can also get, but I'm very excited about the freehand model that he has. So if you're into character sculpting, or if you're into character creation, you already know by now that creating hands is one of the trickiest things to do, and that is why last week we also shared a blog where you can get some free hands, and today we are also giving you guys a free hand. All right, so with the free hand here, you can simply get free insert, brushes that you can use to insert hands into your model. And the beautiful part about this is you do have not just one but two different hands. So there is a male and there is a female, so you choose your weapon of choice and you can start working with this one. So the free hands are properly defined. They have some very good topology. If you're thinking about topology, if you're also thinking about edge flow, you can choose to make changes to these things as you want. And for this, you can get directly onto the page, go over to the link in the description, get this one and get going with it. So pretty cool stuff you can get from today's Free Friday, but we are not done because we have some very cool VFX stuff that we would like to share with you guys. So we already talked about free VFX that you can get from actionfx.com, but today we are seeing that they have also gone ahead to release the free blaster collection that you can get. Now this free blaster collection, they do come as 2K resolution files and they are up to 24 frames per second, although you get to see them here as 23.97, which is approximately 24, and you can get these ones and start working with them. Their formats are 10-bit ProRes 422 and they are pretty interesting. But if you've never been to ActionFX before, or you've never been to ActionVFX and you want to get some extra cool stuff, they do have a truckload of free things and free content that they've given. So if you're trying to get some cool muscle flash, you can choose to buy them. You can choose to get the free ones. If you're also trying to get some spell hits, you can also get those ones for free. So if we simply check where they have free content that we've already talked about before, you'll notice that they do have blood textures, they do have a couple of fires, they have some cool sound effects, and all of these things put together can make your VFX come to life. So are these the only things you get for Free Friday? Maybe not, because we still have to talk about our weekly CubeBrush. So CubeBrush has some pretty cool stuff that they have gone through to create for you guys to get for this week. And we already talked about CubeBrush being a time-based stuff, which means if you don't get ahead of time to get your free content from CubeBrush today, you might have to wait till the next day. So with this in mind, you need to go over to CubeBrush right now and get some free Zbrush brush packs, all right? And this in itself is made available by Damien Peinoit, and he is giving about 20 free brushes. These are not the only brushes that you can get from him, as he also has a 40 set of free brushes that you can get. So these ones, you can already tell that it's been purchased. There is an update to the brushes which you can get from here. So if you're into getting these things, or if you're into ZBrush, then you might want to get this one. But if ZBrush is not your thing and you want to get into cars, then there is also an amazing car set that is made available by Krzysztof. And we already talked about Krzysztof before, where we talked about the pretty cool cars that you can get. And the beautiful thing about Krzysztof page is once you go ahead and click on any of the models that you have here, you will have the opportunity to view them using the Sketchfab viewer. And also Sketchfab viewer actually gives you the liberty of seeing the textures, the shading, the wireframe, and inspecting the 3D model even before you commit to making purchase. So if you want to purchase your next content and you don't see them in Sketchfab, maybe it might be a bit tricky for you to get them. But with this, you can easily tell if this car actually, or if the model which you want to get actually lives up to its name, its expectation, and what you want to get. So he's giving out for this week the Mercedes-Benz C205. And this is a very cool low poly model that you can throw into your scene and get busy with. Although if you go over to his page right now, you'll notice that he has a whole lot of other car models that you can get, as he simply deals on cars when you go over to his page. He also has some very cool premium stuff that you might want to also get, and these ones do come at a given price. So if this is your thing, then you can go ahead and get this. And if this is not your thing, and maybe you're into creating characters like we talked about before, you might be considering creating extra horns. And these horns are things that you can now get directly on CubeBrush, and they are made available by Kozemechak. Now Kozemechak has these stylized horns. How else should I put this? If you want to start creating horns, you already know all of the problems that you might run into, whether you're getting the shape right, if the curves are proper, if you're getting the sculpting details right. But today, if this is what you want, you can easily go over to CubeBrush, download this tool, and with a brush like this, you can easily create horns wherever you want. So let's go ahead and turn the wireframe off so you can see. Cool, right? So maybe that is not the horn for you. Maybe this is the horn for you. We all have those little horns of ours, don't we? So you can choose to get this one, or maybe you can choose to get a given horn like this, lovely, or maybe you can choose to get this one. So I've been playing with these horns and they really look cool. They look clean, I like them. So if you're into making tiny horns, then maybe you have those tiny witch horns. If you're into making some very crazy horns, then maybe these horns might just simply come in pretty handy for you. So lovely stuff you can get here. And if you're also thinking about maybe you having these things and what else can you do, you might want to create these horns and throw them into a scene, and for you to get those scenes happening, you might need lights. So if you want to get free lights, there are free lights that are being offered by Montage Karimi, and these are fixtures which you can use, and they do come in various sizes and styles which you can now download. Several things that you can also get for this week includes the Chester sofa from Erfaan and also the ice material from Andrey Gubin. And we've already talked about Andrey Gubin before, where he gave out the glowing cliff and also gave out the rocky soil, and it's pretty cool to see that he's giving out this one. And the beautiful thing about Andrey's stuff is once you go ahead to download them, you will notice that they do come as 4K files, and they come with most of the essential maps that you might require. So things like the base map, roughness, normal, ambient occlusion, and so on and so forth. And yes, before we go, there is a sculpting challenge from Sketchfab, and the title is Sci-Fi Circus. You would like to join this for sure. I mean, there's just a whole lot of things that we've shared about Free Friday today, and these things will definitely come in handy when you want to start sculpting. And this particular challenge comes with prizes, very impressive prizes, I must say. So the very first prize is going to be an XP Pen Artist 22R Pro, and this is very lovely, as I am quite envious about this one, as I'm currently using the SP Pen 22E Pro, and this for sure would definitely help you while you sculpt. Second prize is going to be an XP Pen Artist 15.6 Pro, and all of these things do come with Amazon gift cards, as the third prize is also going to be an XP Pen Deco Pro M. And if you want to get into sculpting, then this might be a very good time for you, as you stand the chance of winning some pretty cool stuff. There are rules and regulations that does apply, and I'm going to link this in the description for you guys to get started with this. So it's been a huge Free Friday. I would like to know what you guys think about all of these beautiful things that we've talked about in the comment section. Now, if you're thinking about how you can move things from Zbrush over to Blender, we already covered a video that talks about that. Simply go over to the link in the description and you'll be able to see how you can send your files directly from Zbrush over to Blender. And if you're also thinking about how you can simply walk across these things without exporting your files, you want to jump from Maya over to Blender, from Blender to Zbrush, you want to just simply hop around these apps, there is a link in the description that will take you directly to where you can simply get these things going, and you don't even need to pay for that. And that's going to be about it. I would like to know what you guys think about this beautiful set of things that we've talked about in today's Free Friday in the comment section. And if you liked this video or you learned something from this, you can go ahead and give it a like, and don't forget to share with a friend. And if you're new here, it's going to be amazing for you to hit the subscribe button and also turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or the next update. And until I see you guys again with a tutorial update, Free Friday, Tutorial Tuesday, tips and tricks, things like this. Peace.